Hey everyone, this is Mark from Stocks and Cash. It's February 14th, 2018. Happy Valentine's Day. What a day in the market today. I'm going to take a look at the SPY and the Qs as usual, go over my holdings, and then there are a ton of setups tomorrow that I think are completely viable, given that we continue this uptrend, which, it's looking strong. Looks like we're, in the middle of our kind of reversal pattern into the bullish territory again. So let's get right to it into the SPY. So we opened up a little low today. I drew this kind of ascending trend line, this little potential flag here. We touched down at it kind of close to the open from Tuesday, and we just bounced from there and melted right up. Very strong throughout the day. We're in our little warning area here, cracked through the AEMA. Still have the 55 and the 21, but given the way, the strength of today's candle, things are starting to look up again. I'm a little disappointed in the volume. You can see here, about average with what it had been in these last few months here. I wish it was a little bit more, but still better than yesterday. Great bullish action. Some overhead resistance still to deal with, but overall looks like we should continue on higher. In pre-market, the futures are down slightly. I'm actually kind of happy about that. I would like to see another open, slightly lower than where we closed yesterday, and then kind of ricochet off of there and continue on higher. And that's kind of my perspective right now. The Qs, even more of a beautiful open today. We opened lower than the close of yesterday, came down and touched our fibs beautifully, and then we've closed above all of our exponential moving averages. We're just hanging out in this warning zone here. If tomorrow we pop through, then I completely see us getting back to at least this all-time high here of 170.95, and then if we can break through, we get targets of 176 and a half and 183.74. So the Qs, the Nasdaq, definitely looking healthy. You can see MACD is trying to turn over and cross bullishly. RSI is very strong bullishly, and the Stokes are starting to turn up as well. Again, volume definitely stronger volume than we've had in general. If we look at that, well, I don't want to go that far out, but if we look at kind of the average volume based on where we were today, there's not a whole lot that's popping over there other than for a few, anomalies here. There's some in this region that were, higher volume, some in this region, which, these are all kind of downturns where volume was higher. So in terms of, the market moving upwards, pretty strong volume compared to other upward movements. So I guess I can't actually complain about the volume. So I'm very happy with the Qs. Let me first jump into MasterCard. I'm holding MasterCard, have been for a few days now. What can you say? Beautiful bullish candle here. MACD is almost crossing over. The Stokes are starting to get back into the oversold territory, but as we can see, there's no problem with the Stokes being in that range for a while and us continuing up. So volume was pretty strong. Great day for MasterCard. I definitely see us getting back to the breakout level here of 177.18, and then targets of 182 and 190 approximately. Currently up about 23% on that trade. Hess was the other one that I was holding, still holding. Gorgeous candle today. Opened a bit lower than yesterday. Went down a little bit and then bounced with a huge rally throughout the day. Still a lot of overhead resistance, but the way I played this is that, hey, we're close to a resistance line here. I'm fine taking the risk. Let's get in and see what happens. Up about 13% on Hess right now. We'll definitely keep an eye because of all this overhead resistance, but if it powers through with the rest of the market, Hess is looking good. MACD's trying to turn over, still has a ways to go. The RSI and the Stokes are looking bullish, so pretty confident in my Hess trade so far. Let's take a look at Target. This is one that didn't work out as well as I would have liked. It opened up, gapped up. It closed. We had a 5 minute candle that closed above the high of the first 5 minute candle. I get into it. It was looking pretty strong, midday, and then kind of around 1:30, 2 o'clock, started having a decline, and it closed around here. I'm about even on that trade. Pretty disappointed because most of the stocks that I've looked at had strong closes. They didn't have this little sell-off like we can see with Target. Nothing to panic about. We could push on higher and get to our breakout level again of 78.66, but not the nicest candle I'd like to see, given the overall market action. So MACD still needs to cross over. Stokes are looking strong, as is RSI. Volume was okay, but again, not the greatest candle. Hopefully we have a stronger day tomorrow in Target. Otherwise, I'll probably close my position and put my funds in other various securities, because there are some excellent trades which I'll get into shortly. Another one that I got into today, bear with me 1 second, was JP Morgan. 5 minute rule, got in, had a great bounce off of the 8 and 21, and probably the 55 is, oh no, I'm sorry, 55 is here. So the 8 and the 21 EMA bounced right off of there nicely. Looks like we're approaching the 117.35 level. Hopefully we get back there in the next day or two. Try and get through to a breakout level and get to 121 or 125 of target 2. One other one, Marriott. Oh, and JP Morgan, I am up about 14%. Marriott, beautiful day again here too. Bounced off the 8 EMA, and it just continued to melt up throughout the day. MACD almost crossing over. The rest of the indicators are looking good. Volume was very strong. Definitely liking this trade. I certainly see us getting back to 149.21 and pushing through. Hopefully, targets of 154 and 160. You can tell in the sound of my voice that I'm pretty excited about this, and I'm trying to temper my excitement, and kind of, realize that nothing's foolproof. There's always the opportunity for us to roll over, but given the trend of these last few days, double bottom here, I'm pretty confident that we are in rally mode and recovery mode from that sell-off. And I'm trying to be as cautious as possible. Once we get to this level, I'll probably take one of the call. I'll probably sell one of the calls, hold the next one, maybe until this level or the next. And there could be some price action. There might not be a straight up path up to 149.44. Maybe we touch it and we pull back a little bit. That'd be an opportunity to get back in before we go higher again. So, I'm just trying to temper my expectations and not get too excited about it, but things are looking rather bullish right now. Now, to take a look at some, there's a lot of plays tomorrow. Some I haven't even included. Banks are looking strong. I didn't include those because I already own JP Morgan, but Citi, Bank of America, those two are looking like nice potential plays as well. Let's take a look at Apple, which has been very strong over the last few days. I feel like I may have missed the boat on this one, potentially. MACD is about to cross over, which means there is certainly more room to run. RSI is strong. Stokes are strong. Volume was decent. And we did barely close above the 100. The only thing we have left to get through is the 55 and this fib retracement, and then, maybe we get back to 180. So my concern here for my own trading plan is I'm not sure where I'd put my stop. I'd certainly get in on a 5-minute candle. Well, I shouldn't say certainly, but there's the opportunity to get in on a 5-minute candle tomorrow, see if we have similar price action, and see if we get back up to our levels. That being said, this area here is certainly some resistance. You can see, I can draw it here. The close of this candle right here is what I'm looking at. The close of that candle, the open of that candle is about on par with the close of today's candle. So we certainly want to see some punch through that level and a close above it. and that might be where I wait to get in. We had a lot of knocking around in this range here, got up to 180 and then rolled over. Granted that kind of came with the rest of the market as well, but I definitely like to see it close above this 168 level or so here before getting in long, since I didn't get in back here, unfortunately. So this is the next level I'd be looking at. A nice little close above here, and maybe I could get in and have a more realistic stop than, however many dollars Apple is up today. But great move for Apple. It's looking bullish, and I think the continuation, as long as we can get through this resistance level here in the 55 EMA, I think Apple can continue up higher. Let's take a look at Alibaba, another tech stock. There's a lot of tech and retail that I'm looking at. Bob is through all of its moving averages, which is great. It still has this kind of warning area to get through, and it also has this gap that it would like to most likely fill. So 202 is probably the first target. I guess I should say 192 would be the first target given this resistance in here. Second target would be 202, and then if we get there, I can show you targets, way up there, but that's a long way off, so I don't want to get too excited about that just yet. Let's see if we get through our warning zone, and then the next test will be to see if we fill the gap. So great day for Alibaba. We're turning over bullishly. Stokes are very low and have a long way to go. RSI as well. So Alibaba is looking strong according to the charts and the indicators. Definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on tomorrow. Best Buy, great day today. Not much really to say. We're past through the moving averages. Again, MACD is trying to turn over. RSI is looking strong. Stokes are looking strong. We push through here and maybe we get back to our 78.59 level and try and break out and go higher. So Best Buy, again, another one to take a look at. Caterpillar, I'm a fan of this stock in general. I think it behaves in a rather predictable way. We're through our moving averages. MACD is almost turned over. It's pretty low on the MACD scale, if you will. You can see we haven't been down to these lows for quite a while. And so I think, we're on the -2 level here, especially if we get a crossover. I think Caterpillar has a great opportunity to run higher. So this is one I'm going to be considering very strongly tomorrow. Kind of had a double bottom in the RSI, double bottom in the Stokes. MACD, as I said, is almost turning over. So I would keep a very close eye on Caterpillar, especially with the spring coming up, building and things of that nature. I could definitely see Caterpillar being a strong buy. Let's take a look at Facebook. Facebook's had a pretty heavy sell-off from 195 all the way down to 165 or so, let's say. $30 sell-off is nothing to laugh at. Certainly some resistance here up ahead, 55 and the 21. We did get back through this ascending trend line, and we have our warning zone here that we should be a little cautious about. I'm not sure if I would get into Best Buy personally, just given how large this candle was. Trying to figure out where to put a stop would be challenging. Maybe at the low of the 8 EMA that we kind of cracked through, but it is starting to turn over bullishly. MACD is pretty oversold. It hasn't really been here too often. It's only been below it actually, a couple times. Once back here in 2017, and again in 16, I guess, back here, and then late 2016 in the November time frame. So definitely looking like a potential reversal coming for Facebook. So I would like to get in. Again, it's just trying to figure out where to put my stop. But now that I'm talking through it, a stop at the low of the 8 EMA Let's see, where is it at? It is 178.59, so maybe say 178 would be a potentially good stop, and see if we can get this thing to ride up. Lots of room to run. I do think it's a good potential buy depending on your trading plan. Next, First Solar, we looked at that one yesterday. didn't quite break through this resistance level, so I'll be watching tomorrow to see if we get a close above it. If we do get a close, it might be worth a buy. MACD is trying to cross bullishly. Stokes and RSI are looking strong as well. LNG, also looked at this one yesterday. Had a very strong day. I missed it, unfortunately. And at this point with the gap here, I'd probably wait, to see if we do get a close above this 60.19 level. And then we get targets of 62 and 64. So, given how close we are to this breakout zone, I would personally wait if you haven't gotten into it already. And then you could kind of reevaluate. If we get a close above here, then it might be worth getting into. But again, the indicators are showing this guy getting bullishly. Although you can see that, over the last few days, volume's been declining. So I'm not completely sold on LNG. But again, something to take a look at. LULU. This is one I had looked at a few days ago, maybe even a few weeks ago. We had our sell-off in the market. It didn't really go anywhere. Had a big down day, but it didn't have a huge sell-off. It was more in consolidation. We touched our breakout level today, pulled back slightly, before the close. But I definitely see if we close above this 81.8, we're back on our bullish path. Targets of 86.24 and 91.97 for LULU. Las Vegas Sands Casino. This one's through all of our exponential moving averages, and we didn't even close below the simple moving average. Got this warning zone here, but I'm not too concerned about it. I think this is a 5-minute rule type trade. If the stock is looking good in the morning, you get a close above the high of the first 5-minute candle, take the trade, get in, ride it up, get to 79.84, and then trim some of your positions, and then see if we can get to our next targets, which I haven't drawn yet, and I'll probably wait until tomorrow to do that, assuming I get in. Couple more here, please bear with me. Valero had a great pullback. Let me kind of redraw where the fib should be on this guy. Haven't quite gotten through this, last fib, the 61.8 retracement, but we are through the moving averages. I think Valero is a great potential opportunity if you want to get into, gas/oil, energy type stock. Double bottom on the Stokes like we've seen before. RSI is moving up, and the MACD is trying to cross over. I think Valero is a great opportunity. 92, target of 99, 92, 104, and then 110. Microsoft. Another tech play. If you're into tech, again, we're through the moving averages in this kind of warning zone here, but assuming we push through that. Volume was strong. Indicators are relatively strong. MACD's trying to turn over and cross bullishly. Targets of 96.07, 99, and 103.71. Next is Nordstrom. JWN, don't ask me why that's the ticker. We are through all of our warning areas. If you want another retail opportunity, this is one that I think looks strong. 52.93 first target, 54.79, and 57.19 for targets 2 and 3 respectively. Another tech company, Seagate. I was really enjoying this one prior to the market pullback. We've broken through all of our moving averages through our warning area. I definitely like the looks of this one. Certainly I'd like to see MACD crossover, but the RSI is looking strong, as are the Stokes. So Seagate's one I'm potentially looking to get back into. And lastly, we have Tesla. Unfortunately, not much to say here. We touched the 8 EMA, which coincides with the 38.2 retracement level, and basically had a doji today. So not very encouraging given how strong the Qs were and how strong the SPY was. Um, you know, I don't really have much more insight into Tesla at this point in time. We're kind of in no man's land. It's not really a place to buy or short, really. I like to see us either come back down to this level or push through our moving averages before, recommending a buy or a short if that were the case. But I certainly wouldn't short at this point. I'd be looking to get in bullishly given the overall markets, but where you get in bullishly is the question. I apologize for the long video and the late video, but there's a lot of great stuff here. I think a lot of opportunities. Please, use your discretion, stick to your trade plan, do your own research, and best of luck, and have a great night.